So, really, the only men that women see as helping to solve this problem are the ones who are actively taking steps to stop offenders. And
Whether you believe me or not, listen to what I'm saying. Whether you believe me or not, whether you believe that I mean what I say or not, I am actively discouraging offenders from harming women and children and even other men. Well, how are you attacking us, but you're not attacking the men that are in the red? You're wasting your time attacking the greens? Crazy. You want to see what it looks like?
Steps gone. Section 8 gone. All your SNAP EBT benefits gone. Now you got to go back to Tyrone.
What do the men who say not all men and the men who go around on the internet gloating every single time something bad happens to women have in common? Like women as a group. It could be a woman too, but like women as a group. Whenever women lose a right, whenever women lose a protection, whenever we find out something that affects women negatively in mass, there are a group of men that go on the internet and they like celebrate it, right? What do these two groups of men have in common? The men who say not all men and the groups of men who run around the internet gloating about bad things that happen to women. The connection is they're the same men. They're the same men who say not all men are bad, not all men do this, not all men beat women, not all men cheat, not all men, not all men. There's a lot of good men. What about the good guys? It's all right. Let's look out for the good guys. Good guys finish last. Good guy, good guy, good guy are the same men who go out of their way to harm women virtually, right? Socially, whatever, politically, all the things. And maybe not physically. I doubt that they don't harm women physically, but I'm saying, let's say that they don't. Let's say most of these men aren't running around here laying their hands on women. Fine, fine. But you're making it easier for the men that do lay their hands on women and do want to actively harm women to do so.
this video is for the men who say not all men, because look, you are technically correct in that if we look at the population of men, there are men who don't commit violence against women, and then it is a small minority of men who do. You are thinking of this wrong. You're missing a really important piece because it's not just
Also, is not a small minority of men that lay their hands on women. I think most men have been violent to a woman. And I have different scenarios of this, but like blocking a woman's way out of a room, taking her car keys, snatching her phone, snatching her property out of her hand, cheating on her, which I think is physical violence. We talked about that yesterday. Coercing a woman into sex. Yeah. I think most men have been physically abusive to women. Most men. Like I mean like the vast majority of men.
that you are either one of these things or you're the other. A better way to think of it is as a continuum, where at the very top, we have the mass offenders, the serial offenders, sort of the worst of the worst. And yeah, most men are not that. And then there are also men who are one time offenders. They still commit acts of violence against women, but not over and over again, not repeatedly. Both of these types of men would fall into that category of men who commit violence against women, but clearly they're not the same. And there are also plenty of men in the middle between them. But you have to understand that you also might fall into the category where, like, yeah, you don't commit acts of violence against women, but you do things that actively encourage offenders. You make jokes about it. When a friend of yours says, like, hey, I hooked up with this chick who was really drunk last night, you give them a high five. That is actively encouraging offenders to either offend again or to continue to offend. And you are part of the problem, even though you're not part of that category of men who commit acts of violence against women. Below that, we have the men who just ignore the offenders completely. Someone makes a sexist joke, they tell you about something bad that they've done, something that puts them in that red category, and you just sort of brush it off. You don't make a big deal of it. You ignore the fact that those offenders exist and continue to offend. And yeah, that's not actively encouraging them to continue to offend, but it's implicitly saying that what they did is okay, and it's not. Then there are plenty of men who are just ignorant to the fact that this is a big problem for women. They don't understand just how big of a problem, just how many women experience violence on a basically daily basis. And I would argue that they're part of the problem too. Next up, we have men who they're not ignorant to the problems of women, but they do take steps to actively avoid the men who are. They have a friend who tells them about something they did, and they said, "You know what? I'm not going to hang out with this guy anymore. He's a problem. He's not a good guy. I'm not going to be friends with him." That's at least a step in the right direction. But if you're not actively discouraging that person from doing those things again, they might take your break of contact with them again as implicit encouragement to continue doing what they're doing. So, really, the only men that women see as helping to solve this problem are the ones who are actively taking steps to stop offenders. And if you're
And my name is the public offender, not the woman offender, right? Because I don't offend women in this way. Maybe since I may say stuff that may offend some women, that's okay, but I don't offend women in this way. But I do want to point out something about this, and not to like pat myself on the back, but it's to also just look at like my platform objectively. And this is what I be trying to say. So, men that be like, "Oh, you're a panderer and you're a simp," and this is for any man, right? That talks, that is in a similar vein as me. This is for all of us. I'm speaking for all of us right now because I can. It's not me defending them. I'm just speaking for these men, for the men with these platforms. Okay, so what you guys see. I'm only talking about what people see. I'm not talking about my home life because we already know they're all waiting on some fucking story to come out that I'm doing something to my wife or my kids or something, which it ain't gonna ever come out, but whatever. That's all they're banking on. So you don't know who I am privately, you only know my public persona. Let's talk about my public persona. My public persona, if I fail anywhere on this chart, where do I fall? Am I a mass serial offender? Harming women? I would say no. One-time offender? I would say no. Do I encourage offenders? Absolutely not. Do I ignore offenders? No, I confront them. Am I ignorant to offenders? No. I actually try to educate other men on how offensive men are. Do I avoid offenders? Again, no, I go to them. I literally seek out the offenders. Do I discourage offenders? Absolutely. And do I stop offenders? Yeah, both of those things. So I'm about as green as you can get on this chart publicly. This is my public persona. It's all I'm talking about right now, right? Now, if you think that what I'm doing is I don't believe it and I'm pandering all of that, you do have to take into account my real world impact. My real world impact versus my legitimacy, right? Like those two things are not in the same vein. I'm giving them, I want to have this discussion because I want to give these men all the all the concessions so that so they can truly understand how this works, right? So, yes, I could be everything that these men think that I am behind the scenes. That's fine, right? But publicly, my public persona is a person that stops offenders. At the very least, I discourage offenders. At the very least, I'll accept discouraging offenders for right now. So I discourage offenders on a daily basis, literally on a daily basis, right? That is like my job. That is my life's work right now. Okay. And my impact is that. My impact is one of a offender discourager. That is my impact. Fine. If you turn around and you go, "Oh, this man is simping, this man is pandering," then essentially what you are against is a man that is discouraging men from harming women. Whether you believe me or not, listen to what I'm saying. Whether you believe me or not, whether you believe that I mean what I say or not, I am actively discouraging offenders from harming women and children and even other men. Actively. That is like, again, that is what I do for for my living. That is what I do. I literally discourage men as best I can to stop offending and call out problematic behaviors of men, right? Okay, cool. So when you come and you attack me, essentially You are attacking a man that is actively discouraging and possibly and probably stopping offenders from offending. And you have a problem with me. Why? And then you're going to claim that you're none of these dudes in the yellow, orange, or red. You're gonna say you're not, you're gonna say you're a green flag guy, right? But you are actively going against a green flag guy. And I'm just using this chart. I'm saying objectively, like you can go listen to my content. That's just what it is. It's not me patting myself in the back. It's not me giving myself a cookie. I'm saying this is what I am. This is what my platform, like I know it. It's not up for debate. That is what it is. And you are going against me. Then by default, you have to be red, orange, or yellow. By default, you have to be one of those men. Just so you know. And that's what I've been trying to tell y'all this whole time. You can hate me all you want. You can just tune me out, to be honest with you, if you really dislike what I'm saying and you dislike me or whatever. But as soon as you publicly come after me and, oh, you pander and you sipping and you try to discourage others from listening to me, in reality, what you are doing is you're trying to discourage a man that is actively discouraging offenders. You're trying to stop people from listening to a man that is actively discouraging offenders. That's what I want you to keep in mind. Impact over intent. My impact is I discourage offenders. What you think my intentions are is irrelevant. It's irrelevant. Can we all agree? It doesn't matter. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care if that man didn't mean to leave his daughter in the car for 17 hours while she baked in the sun and she died. And now, like, I don't care. He has to go to jail for that. That's negligence. He has to go to jail. Maybe it wasn't murder. Maybe it wasn't manslaughter. Negligence, give him fucking 10 years. A baby died. And it wasn't like a freak accident. It was like, you know what I mean? Like it was extreme negligence. Lock his ass up. Impact over intent.
You're doing that in private. If you're pulling your buddy aside and talking to him one-on-one, there's no way that women are going to know that you're doing that. So it's really only the men who are doing that publicly who women are going to look at as not part of the problem. And one other very important piece to this is that the distribution of men is not just a flat straight line like this. Like basically everything else, it's a bell curve. So yes, it's a very small minority of men who are really, really terrible, but there are a lot more men who do bad things, but not super often, but are still actively causing harm. And then there's this big middle piece where most men are still encouraging offenders to offend, even though they're not actually doing any of the offending themselves. It's through their action or inaction. They are explicitly or implicitly encouraging men who do commit violence to continue to commit violence. And again, these men, at least from the perspective of women, they are part of the problem too.
That was pretty damn easy. That was pretty straightforward. So again, you're one of those men, you're attacking platforms like mine, you're attacking men and women like me. You're, oh, you guys are whatever you're saying about us. You are a part of the problem. Well, how are you attacking us, but you're not attacking the men that are in the fucking red? You're wasting your time attacking the greens? Crazy. Crazy. And also, you don't understand why women would gravitate towards a platform or towards a group of people that are actively, vocally, publicly calling men out for harming women. You don't understand that? Because you guys get really mad that women like follow my content and like my content. You guys are like shocked by that. And I'm like, why is that shocking? That's like the most obvious thing ever. And I've tried to give you guys so many examples, but I do the whole thing with like white people, and I go, yeah, there are white people. I use an example. I use Drinkable Brian because I like Drinkable Brian. I like his content. Drinkable Brian, Tim Wise. There are white people. What's her name? Judy. I forgot her name, but the old white hair lady from a long time ago. I haven't seen her in a while. Jane Elliott. Jane Elliott. There are white people who actively oppose racism and whiteness and white supremacy. Actively, publicly, they do. They could privately be racist all they want. We don't know. I don't know. But publicly, which is very important, they are actively calling these systems of oppression out and calling the people who participate in them out, right? Cool. Do you think that those people are going to have a bunch of fucking white people following them? No. Their audience is overwhelmingly going to be black people. The people that the systems are harming are overwhelmingly going to be the people who support them. That's a no-brainer. But that doesn't mean that they're fake. That doesn't mean that they're pandering to them. That's just that's just what's going to happen. When all these people are socialized to uphold these systems of oppression, like he just showed you that most men fall within the yellow, orange, or red category. So the vast majority of men are a fucking problem. There are very few men that are green. Very few green men. There are way more red men, and I know this looks like this because he didn't make this accurate based on numbers. He just wanted to give you a visual representation. But I would say that the green is much shorter and the red is significantly larger, if you ask me. But hey, this does what it does, right? The point is the vast majority of men are not, they are actively a part of the problem. The vast majority. That's all it is. You want to see what it looks like? You want to see what it looks like to actively be a part of the problem? To say things that are harmful about women and, you know what I'm saying? And uphold systems of oppression that harm women and children. You want to see what it looks like?
Footsteps gone. Section 8 gone. All your SNAP and EBT benefits gone. Now you got to go back to Tyrone. Woo! I think this is great. We have just single-handedly saved the black family. Why? Because Tasha can't run out on Tyrone anytime she get mad and think the government going to take care of her. Tasha can't leave Tyrone and think that the kids going to eat. Tasha can't leave Tyrone and think she going to get a free rent. Tasha can't depend on the government because years ago, black women turned their back on black men for government assistance, for food stamps, for Section 8, for welfare, for WIC, for all the things that black men bring into their household. They said, no, we don't need that. I'll go file to the government and they'll give it to me. Trump said, hell no. Woo! Now you're going to have to start choosing better. Woo! Now women are going to have babies with men that actually want to have babies with them.
The way that he's contradicting himself is hilarious right there because the women are choosing Tyrone. Tyrone, the man that the man that you are sticking up for and saying Tasha shouldn't leave are the men that the women are choosing. And then you're turning around and saying the women need to choose better. The choosing better was them not choosing Tyrone and leaving him. But you don't want that. You want them with Tyrone. You're contradicting yourself.
Woo! Now women are going to have to vet their partners and not be able to just hit them up for a check every time and think they can live off the government. Woo! This shit amazing. You're going to see more wives and less baby mamas. You're going to see more two-parent households because it's going to be a family unit because success is a team sport. You're going to see women go back to their men, go back to their child's father and try to work things out and not childishly run out to the next nigga. Why? Because Donald Trump and the government don't got your back no more. Because you can't go over there and get free food stamps and sell them bitches 40 for the 80. Because you don't have a $72 rent anymore. Because now you're going to have to figure it out. And the only person that's left is that black man that you walked out on years ago. And the price of pussy going down too. Donald Trump did it with this one, and I'm here for it. Queens, go back to your kings and work it out. Baby mamas, go back to your baby daddies and become wives. It's time for us to work together. This is actually amazing. No longer will you be incentivized by quitting on your household. No longer will you be incentivized by quitting on your marriage. No longer will you be incentivized by quitting on that black man. You are no longer incentivized to leave. So baby, you either pay or stay. That ugly money.
Sorry, the EBT system is down right now. Whole network's out.
For real? I'm just trying to grab lunch.
I know, we can't swipe it at all.
You gotta be kidding me. How are we supposed to eat like this, man? I got 3 kids at home.
They better fix it quick now.
Off the food stamps today.
Break it up. Go. Keep running.
And that granny just took off with a whole bag of groceries.
So these dudes so this dude is like, yeah, government took away your benefits and we know that you use that to survive on. But now you're going to have to stay and be in toxic relationships with men named Tyrone. And that's going to save the black community. That's going to save women and save our relationships. And everybody's going to be more married as if being married is a good thing for women. Like actively harming women. The things he is saying is actively harmful to women. And then he talked about, oh, pussy going to be $40, but he's out here listen, He wants women in abusive relationships with men, right? In abusive marriages with men, but he also wants the price of pussy to come down. So he's encouraging women being sexually exploited, and he's encouraging abusive relationships or women to stay in abusive relationships with men. Remember, where do you think he falls in the bell curve? Is he red, orange, or yellow? I got him in the red. I think he's this is an abuser. Clearly, if you're talking like this is very abusive language. So if you're going to tear and claw at platforms like mine and say we're the problem, then I want you to understand that that essentially what you are proving and what you are proving is that you are a yellow, a red, or an orange. You are a part of the problem. You are going after the greens. You need to be going after the fucking reds. Go after these guys. Leave us the fuck alone. Because I'm not a problem. I don't say anything that is destructive to women. Nothing. You could disagree with that all you want to, but if you disagree, prove it. Y'all say harmful shit all day long.